everybody, it's Wendy, and today we are going to make a necklace, a Y-shaped necklace, using products from the Jesse James Magical Mystery Bead Box for May of 2021. So the theme was Fairy Garden Whisper this month, and here's everything that was in it. I'll link the unboxing in the description box below if you want to watch that. But it's a monthly subscription box, and we are going to make this beautiful necklace. It was so pretty this month, the box was, and I just, I'm excited to be able to make a necklace using this stuff. It was just beautiful. So what you're going to need is you're going to need some of this sage enamel Vegas chain that was in the box. Okay, so there's this. And I'll show you here in a minute, but we're going to be cutting that into some different sizes. But right now, I'm just going to give you the list of things that you're going to need. So you're going to need that. You're going to need the large green butterfly. Look how pretty that is. You're going to need that, the Vegas chain. You're going to need a ring of some sort. This is just a ring from my own stash. Lynn gave me these. And I'm going to use that, but any ring will work. I'm using the box clasp from the box this month. I'm using an assortment of jump rings. Mostly, these are 5 millimeter actually. Mostly 5, they may be 4 or 5 millimeter jump rings here. Mostly those. I'm going to use a little bit bigger one to attach the butterfly to this ring because this ring is kind of thick. So, but yeah, mainly we're just going to be using these smaller jump rings. You're going to need some chain. Now this is just some gold chain from my own stash that I'm going to use in conjunction with the Vegas chain. So you'll need some gold chain. And it doesn't matter. I mean, the links on this can be, these are probably 4 millimeter. Yeah, these are probably 4 millimeter links. We're going to be attaching some dangles to the chain, so you do need to be able to put a jump ring through there. Okay, you're going to need some head pins. I've just got a bunch of gold colored head pins here. I'm not using ball head pins because I'm not going to do wrapped loops. If you wanted to do wrapped loops, you could use ball head pins, but I would not advise doing regular loops with ball head pins. So I'm using just these regular, I believe, let's see what gauge these head pins are. Say they're 20 gauge. Yeah, these are a 20 gauge, maybe 22. Yeah, probably 22. These are about a 22 gauge head pin. So I'll be using those. And then I'm using a bunch of the beads from the bead mix. So, well, first of all, I have some of the cloisonne beads on here. I just pulled some of the beads from the strands and the bead mix. So I just mixed it all up, but I picked out mainly these blues and some of the vintage pinks, this violet, really pretty matte violet color. So I just picked out colors that I liked and thought went well together from the bead mixes. So that's what I've got. I've got the cloisonne beads. I've got, if you've got the bead mix it, or if you've got this month's box, I'll just show you what I've got here. And I didn't really count them either. I just pulled out a bunch, just a random number. So I don't even know that we'll use all of these, but we're going to have them here just in case. So here's what I've got. Separated out into little piles so you can see. Here's some of the cubes. There's these guys. And actually this, I think, was supposed to go with something else. I didn't mean to really have him out there. Okay, so those are the beads that I have pulled out from the mixes and the strands. So that'll give you a little bit of an idea if you want to do the exact same thing that I'm doing. But I just matched up colors to these beads, basically, is all I did, and pulled out a bunch. So let's set these aside. And we'll get started. So get your stuff together. You are going to need your jewelry tools, and I think that's it, just your jewelry tools and what I showed you here. If we missed something, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. So the first thing we're going to do is cut the chain. Now, I've already done this, and I'm going to show you. I have, because I did not want to use all of this chain on the top of the necklace, okay? Because, you know, part of it goes kind of back behind your, back behind your neck for the closure. And I didn't want to waste this beautiful Vegas chain doing that where it won't show anyway. So what I did is I cut several lengths of chain that are 5 inches. So I measured, and my Y-shaped necklace, where I like for it to hang on my body, it's about 15 inches to the ring, okay? And then you're going to have a dangle coming down. But I measured how far down I want this ring to hang on myself, and it's about 15 inches up each side for the chain. So, like I said, I didn't want to use all of this because that would have been like, 30 inches on each side, and then that would have used most of the chain. So I took some of this gold. So what I did is cut it in lengths of 5 inches. So here will be one side. We'll have a gold chain. Then we'll have part of the Vegas chain and then some more gold chain. And that way it gets the Vegas chain in here because it's so beautiful. I really want to use it on this, but it doesn't use all of it in parts that you won't even see it. So I'm just trying to conserve that a little bit. And then here is another piece for the tassel part, and it's 4 inches. Okay, so what I've done is I have cut 1, 2, 3, 4 5-inch lengths of the regular gold chain, 2 5-inch lengths of the Vegas chain, then 2 4-inch lengths of the gold chain, and 1 4-inch length of the Vegas chain. Okay, so that's what I have measured out, and that's what we're going to use to make our necklace. So go ahead and get your chains cut the way that you want them, and get your ring and your longer sections of chain, and we're going to go ahead and put those together. Okay, so let's take, first we're going to use this gold chain. I'm just going to hook these together with jump rings. This Vegas chain has a teeny tiny little holes in here right there, if you can barely see it. And I'm just going to hook this to the regular chain with my little jump rings. And hopefully I won't have to pull out a bigger jump ring. It's possible that I may, but I'm going to try this without it. And for some reason, jewelry tools are not all here, which is odd. Okay, but I do think I have what I need, so we're good. Huh, wonder where they went. Who knows? I've been in the middle of so many projects that I can't keep it all straight. So, okay, so we're just going to take our little jump ring. We're going to hook it right through this chain. Oh, don't tell me these are going to be too thick. They may be. I may have to pull out a thinner jump ring for this. Let me do that. I didn't check that out ahead of time. I should have. There's a bigger one. I just hated to use these big jump rings to do it, but maybe I'm going to have to. I have all of my jump rings here on the side, so that's what I'm doing. I'm just kind of looking through and finding a thinner one. So yeah, these thinner ones will probably work. So let's try that. I don't think it's going to be noticeable really in the necklace. We'll see how it looks when we get it on here. If it looks bad, then we'll do something different. That's one of the things of designing jewelry or making jewelry. You have to kind of be flexible. If something doesn't work just like you wanted it to, then you just have to do something different. You have to be able to switch it up kind of quickly. All right, so there's the one, and yeah, I mean, that does not really, you can't even tell. So we're going to do the same thing down here on the end. And I just thought this month's box was so pretty. Different, very unique and different, which, of course, Jesse James is known. They're known for their unique and different. So I really like this month's box. It's just beautiful. You see things that you can't find anywhere else. You're not going to see anywhere else in these boxes. Okay, so there's our first side. Okay, so this is 15 inches of chain. Okay, so now we're going to hook our second pieces together, or second side. So I've just got my chain. I'm going to use my thinner jump ring and connect it. Now, one thing I do want to be sure of, and you will want to be sure of this too probably, is if you can see, well, it's not going to matter. I guess you could flip it either way you wanted. Never mind. I was going to say that this chain needed to face the same direction, but you can flip it however you want it to go, as long as you just get it hooked on. Okay. When you put the necklace together is when that will matter, so not really right now. I try to think ahead sometimes, and sometimes it works for me and sometimes it doesn't. Okay. I'm just going to get this right in here. Maybe I am. Let me hold this with the pliers. It can be a little fiddly to get in these tiny little holes, but I love this chain. I think it is so pretty. I've never seen it before. This enamel chain. It's just beautiful. And I can't seem to get this in the hole for some reason. There we go. So I'll tell you, between the first segment of making this necklace and this part, Chris came home, so he'd been out a little bit. And I'm learning to ride this motorcycle. It's a Honda Rebel 300. So it's not hard to ride, but I've never ridden a real motorcycle before, and I'm learning to shift the gears and everything, and it's very stressful. So he came home. I'm trying to get this in here, guys. I'm not just rambling, but I'm trying to talk while I do it, so you're not completely bored. So he came home and he's like, yeah, let's go out, let's practice. So we're only riding in the neighborhood because, like, I'm terrified to go on the big roads. And anyway, that's what I did between segment 1 and segment 2 of this video. So now I'm a little shaky, and there we go. I'm a little shaky, and oh, yeah, it's kind of scary. I mean, I like it. It's fun, but yet, whew, it's kind of scary. Okay, I'm glad we got this. So yeah, my hands are shaking a little bit, and that is why. All right, let's go ahead and do this second one. This should be a little easier. I don't know why I had such trouble with that one, but let's go ahead and do this one. There we go. Yeah, okay. I think I just need to calm down a little bit. I was like, I'm going to go in and film a video because I need some stress relief. All right, here we go. There. So now we have our 2 sections of chain. Now this is what I was meaning. You want to make sure that these are facing the same way when you attach this to the ring, because you definitely don't want one going up and one going down if you see the direction of those little leaves there. All right, so let's lay this out. Let's make sure our chain is not twisted and turned and is kind of flat, laying on our table. I've always just found that that makes things much better in the long run if you make sure everything's kind of flat out on your table when you're putting things together. And we're just going to hook this ring onto our chain. Now, the ring that I have has these twisty things around it. It's really cool, but it's going to require more than just me hooking the link on. It's going to have a jump ring, I think, because it's a little bit, that ring's a little bit thick. So I'm just going to use my jump ring. And I'm just going to hook it. I'm going to put it between these and see if it will stay here. I kind of think it might, because like I said, these rings are a little bit thicker and my jump ring is kind of small. If this jump ring will work for this, I may have to get a bigger one. Yeah, it's going to take a bigger jump ring for this, so let's do that. Let me grab a bigger one and we'll go ahead and hook this on. All right, here we go. Whoops. All right, we're just going to hook it right to the ring. And these are going to be where the Y comes together. And then we're going to create a focal that's going to be really pretty. Okay, so there's one. Go ahead and do the other one. And you do want to make sure that your ring is closed up good. See, I don't have my jump ring closed completely. Let me fix that. If you your chain might slip out of it. I don't think the ring would come off, but the chain maybe could. Let me go ahead and get the other one on. And then we'll have a large part of it connected. There we go. All right. Let's close this one up. Man, I'll tell you, my coordination is not the best today anyway. I'm not the most coordinated person with fine motor skills, believe it or not. I make jewelry and yeah, I have some fine motor skill issues. But today I'm really struggling. Okay, there we go. So this is pretty. I love this chain. Okay, so here is our connection at the top. Now, this butterfly, I'm going to hang right from the middle of this. So again, just grab a jump ring and we're going to go ahead and we're going to hang our butterfly right from the middle. It's beautiful. I actually considered gluing it onto the chain, but I think I'd rather just hang it here. I think it'll be really pretty, kind of floating. So we're just going to put him on here. Just like that. Okay. Now we're going to put our connections here. So we have 3. I'm going to put the sage chain in the middle. And then I'm going to put my other 2 chains on either side. And I'm just going to use jump rings again and connect them. So here we go. So we'll go ahead and put this one on. And I do want the sage chain to be in the middle of these. I mean, you can do it however you want, but we're going to be hanging beads from these chains. So not the sage chain, it's just going to be decorative in the middle, but then we're going to hang beads from the other chains. So you may want to make sure that yours are on either side as well, just, you know, because otherwise it's going to be kind of hard to hang your beads on there if they're all together. Okay, so let's put the sage chain on here. And again, these can be a little fiddly to get on, these little jump rings. There we go. Okay, just close that up. And hook our other chain on the other side, and we're done with that. Okay, right here. Okay, so here's what we've got. It's going to be really pretty when it's finished. Okay, so now we're going to make a bunch of dangles. All right, so you've got your beads all here. I did pull out too some small spacer beads because I did notice on some of these, like these right here and the these beads here, that there's a little bit bigger hole in the bottom, and it's going to slip right off your head pin if you don't have some sort of a bead to block it. So I did pull out some small spacer beads here. These are like 2 to 4 millimeter. They're all just kind of mixed together in my baggie, but we're going to use them in a couple places too. So what we're going to do is we're going to make loops. Now, if you have the one-step looper, you can do this with that. I tend to do mine by hand because, I don't know, that's just how I like to do it. And so I'm going to take one of these little 4 millimeter spacer beads, and I'm going to put it on here, and yeah, that'll stop it, thank goodness. I was a little worried. And then another 4 millimeter spacer bead on top. Oh, now that one went right down in there. So I do need to make sure that the other one is going to stop it. I don't want it to fall off on me. Yeah, I mean, it seems like it's not going to pull through. So I'll use one of these bigger ones here on the top. Just like that. Okay? All right, I think it's good. And then we're just gonna, if you do it by hand, this is how you do. You bend at a 90-degree angle. You cut your wire. And then you take your round nose pliers and you're just going to roll a loop back. These are not my Xeron pliers. I don't know where my round nose pliers are. I'm going to have to go locate them, so, but this one will work. Not as well. I like my Xeron. I'm used to them, but this will work. Okay, so we're just making a little loop, and we're just going to make dangles out of all these little beads, or as many as you want. I mean, let me say that. You don't have to do, I mean, I've got a bunch here. I don't know if I'm going to do all of these, but just make as many dangles as you want. We're going to hang some from either chain on here, so, or from both chains, so you need enough for that, but go ahead and make your dangles and come on back and we'll finish. Okay, so I have all my dangles made, and I tried to do even amounts of each one. Now, I'm not going to hang them parallel to each other on here. I'm going to mix that up, but I wanted to have, if I had one over here, I wanted to have one somewhere on the other side. So I've got the cloisonne beads here, and I'm going to hang them, you know, kind of apart from each other. And then I'm going to space everything out in between them. So just start hanging. This is totally up to your creative control. You can hang these on here wherever you want to. And I ended up not using this big one, mainly because I just didn't know where to hang it. I thought about putting it right here, and I may still do that, just hanging it from this jump ring, but I don't want it to be too much. So I'm going to wait and see how it looks when I get all my other beads on here, and then I'll decide if I want to do that or not. I like it, and if I would have had two of them, I would have put one on each side, but with there just being one, it was kind of a weird, it would have looked weird just on one side, I think, of this. So I'm just going to hang all of these on here, however I want to put them. And like I said, you can make yours parallel if you wanted. If you wanted your other one over here, you could do that. I just don't, I'm going to space them out a little. And I'm going to hang some from one side of the chain and some from the other. So I'm not really, I don't know if that'll make it hang any differently when I pull it up here. Like, I don't guess it would. Well, it might, because see, this is on this side. I'm going to hang some from these side of the links, so that'll make them, I think it'll make them hang a little bit, you know, on those sides. We'll see. So I'm going to put this guy here, and again, I'm trying to just space them out so I don't have the same bead in the same place all the time. So like this, I'm going to space them out about like that. And I didn't use all of the beads at all. I still have quite a few. This box has a bunch of beads in it. I still have all of these. Plus, I mean, I have a whole nother bunch of these beads, but these are the ones I had pulled out for this that I didn't use because I don't, you know, I don't want to have too many dangles and flood it. We'll see. We'll see how it looks. I can always add more. You can always add in more, but I wanted to go with a little bit less at first. Okay. So go ahead and hang all your dangles where you want them and come on back. Okay, so here's my necklace so far, and I actually do think that I want to add some more dangles on here. So I'm going to do two of these guys, two of these, two of the cubes, and two of these lilac colored beads, and I'm going to add them onto each side and just beef it up a little. So if you want to do that, you can. If you like yours like it is, then stay tuned and we'll finish up the necklace here in a minute. Okay, so I have all my beads now on my tassel, and I like the way this looks. It's a little more full. So I just added those extra ones on, and I really like it. Okay, so now we're just going to put our clasp on. This is super simple. The box clasp is awesome. It actually already has jump rings on it, so all you have to do is attach it to your chain. And so that is what I'm going to do right now. I think these are open jump rings. Nope, maybe not. Maybe these are closed jump rings. I'm not seeing an opening. Yeah, it looks like these are, oh no, that one isn't. This one is a closed jump ring on mine. Now, I don't know if it'll be that way on everybody's, but it is soldered closed. Maybe not. Okay, hold on. Let me see. Yeah, it was kind of soldered closed. I just broke it open right there. I think it just probably came that way from the factory, but it's now an open jump ring. So it had the little line I think was supposed to be open. It just hadn't completely cut through. So we'll go ahead and close it back up. And this one on the other side is definitely an open jump ring. So we'll go ahead and attach it. I'm normally not a huge fan of box clasps because I've had them come open on me in the past, but this one, I noticed these that they sent, I've opened them and closed them several times and they're very sturdy. So I don't think there would be any problem with these. It's just some of the ones I've had in the past haven't been the greatest quality, but these are. So there it is. You open it and you stick it right back in to close it. It's very sturdy. So here's our necklace. I think it turned out pretty. I love these beads and these colors together. So let me put this on a form and we'll take a look at it. Okay, so here's our finished necklace. Please excuse the mess. Let me turn my light on here too. There we go. Okay, so it's just the tassel, which I love this tassel. It's so just funky. It's just pretty. It's got all these pretty little beads hanging. I love this chain in the middle. Now my butterfly floats a little bit right here, and I like that. If you don't want it to, you could use a smaller jump ring. You could even glue it here if you wanted to keep it from floating, but I kind of like mine floating. And then we go up here, and I've got it pinned kind of high because it's very long, which is exactly what I wanted. But we've got our chain up here. And so, yeah, I think this turned out really pretty. And if you're interested in this box, this Jesse James Magical bead box, Magical Mystery bead box, I will provide a link in the description box below this video, and you can check that out. And thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.